Are you trying to figure out how many documents are in your Elasticsearch index without retrieving all of them? You're not alone. Today, we're going to explore the best way to get that count using the Java API. I totally understand your frustration. It can be a hassle to pull all the documents just to find out how many there are. Many developers face this issue, and it's a common question in the Elasticsearch community. So here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, what's the best way to get the number of documents in an Elasticsearch index using Java? They mentioned that while there are resources available, they seem outdated or not quite what they need. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this. To understand the issue better, it's important to know that Elasticsearch provides a count API specifically designed for this purpose. This allows you to get the document count without retrieving the documents themselves, saving you time and resources. And stick around, I have a great tip at the end that will help you optimize your Elasticsearch queries even further. To get the number of documents in an Elasticsearch index using Java, the user should start by adding the necessary Elasticsearch client dependency to their project. This can be done by including the appropriate Maven or Gradle configuration. Next, the user should create a REST high-level client instance. This client will allow them to interact with the Elasticsearch cluster. Make sure to specify the correct host and port. Now the user can perform a count query to get the number of documents in the specified index. This is done using the count request class, which allows for a simple count operation. Finally, the user should close the client connection after completing the operation to free up resources. This is an important step to ensure proper resource management. Fun fact, did you know that Elasticsearch was originally built to help developers search through large amounts of data quickly? It's come a long way since then, and now it's a go-to for many applications. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution provided by another user involves using the Indices API. This API gives you statistics on various operations happening within an index. To get the document count, you can use the prepareStats method. That's all for that response. Let's see what someone else had to say. An alternative approach shared by another user involves using the Elasticsearch Java API to count documents without retrieving them. They suggest preparing a search request with a specific index and type, setting the query, and crucially, setting the size to 0 to avoid fetching any documents. After executing the search, you can retrieve the total hits. It's important to access the total hits value correctly by using value to get a long value instead of a string. Let's move forward and look at another answer. An alternative approach shared by a user highlights an important update. After version 7.0 of Elasticsearch, you need to explicitly set track total hits to true in your search request to get the document count accurately. Now, let's dive into a different answer from another user. An alternative approach suggested by another user is to utilize the low-level client from the high-level client in Elasticsearch. They recommend invoking the ScoreCount REST API to get the number of documents. For example, you can use the command get twitter//dount user kimchi to retrieve the count without fetching the documents themselves. Let's take a moment to review another user's answer. An alternative solution suggests using the count API for Java to get the number of documents in an index without retrieving them. This method is more efficient than setting the size of the search request to 0. This approach is recommended because it consumes less resources and bandwidth, focusing solely on counting documents without unnecessary overhead. Here's that tip I promised. Regularly monitor your index size and document count. This can help you optimize your queries and improve performance over time. And there you have it. You now know how to get the number of documents in your Elasticsearch index using Java without retrieving them. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.